Right, welcome along to the Tactical Insight Show. Graham is here. How you doing, Graham?
I see, Rob.
You know what? I don't even know what to say. Just please tell me, why are Arsenal so rubbish? Why? I mean, the game yesterday against Leicester, yet again, another horrific away performance by Arsenal. And all right, listen, we were down to 10 men, and that does make a difference. I mean, I was kind of arguing with a lot of fans yesterday. They didn't want to hear it, but it does. When you're down to 10 men, it's harder. But even before we were down to 10 men, you know, I don't know what we would do. Listen, if put it this way, if we were down to 10 men against Leicester at home, we wouldn't have played like that, would we?
No, but we were away from home, weren't we?
So why do we play like that?
I think the thing is, yesterday Emery said we wanted to start the game with control, and I looked at the stats after about 15 minutes. He said we wanted to have control of the game, possession in the game. They had 81% possession, we had 19.
That's a lot of control, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of control. They had 130 passes, we had 19, Rob. So that was control for you. So
Arsenal.
What does that tell you? That tells you that the players away from home are not at it. Just they're too many of them in comfort zones, Robbie. Too many of them in comfort zones. They don't start with the right intensity. So do you argue that the manager's not motivating them before they get on the pitch? What is it about them? They seem too comfortable in an Arsenal shirt, don't they? They basically start with that lack of intensity, no pressing. And Leicester started, the way Leicester started yesterday was everything the way I thought we should have started, with intensity, looking to win the ball high up in our half. We really started poorly yesterday. The players started slowly. There's no leadership in the team.
Are we tired?
Partly, I think.
Because you know the thing about it, Leicester obviously they had no game. They had a whole week to prepare for this game, going into it. We've obviously had the game during the week away at Wolves. Then this game, we played a lot of games recently, and the squad's just not there to freshen things up, is there? Because when you do bring in some of them squad players, it's patently obvious that they're not good enough.
There's an argument that he played a lot of this team in all the Europa League games, which is obviously, you could say, has been a factor. But is that a factor? No. I think we have to say that Emery over the last week has got it horribly wrong. He really got it horribly wrong against Crystal Palace with that defensive formation with 3 centre-backs and 2 holding midfielders. And that set the trend for the week, hasn't it? He's got all 3 games wrong, Robbie. You know, I've lauded him on this tactical show all season, the way he has pulled games out of the fire for us with the way he's changed tactics. But is he changing tactics too much? Do the players know what they're doing half the time? Going from one system to the other all the time. There is an argument that they don't. And they seem to lack intensity. And I think, I said to you before, away from home, you have to have a plan away from home. You have to be set up to defend well, to hit teams on the counter-attack, right? But fundamentally, the players got to be at it, and they've got to be intense from the start. And yesterday we weren't. And we set up here in a 4-4-2. Leicester, some conjecture whether Leicester went 4-1-4-1. I thought it was more a 4-2-3-1. But what Arsenal did wrong yesterday was, in this formation, is that you had Lacazette and Aubameyang. They were pressing their 2 centre-halves, right, Evans and Maguire. So when they start pressing, it was what you want then is the rest of the team to be pushing up in a cohesive press. So you want Torreira, Xhaka, Iwobi and Mkhitaryan pushing on to the Leicester players to push them back, right? So pushing on, pushing on, pushing on, pushing on. And then the team pushes up, right? Which is what Emery always says. He wants his team to push up, to press, to play the high line. So, but he seems to have players who can't do that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We talked about it before we started this show today. It seems as though the players can't carry out his instructions.
The only 2 players in this team that press: Aubameyang, Lacazette, Torreira.
Yep, and that's what was happening.
Mkhitaryan don't press.
No.
Xhaka don't press.
No.
Iwobi kind of half presses, but doesn't really, you know, there's sorts of presses. Kolasinac don't. Obviously, we're into the defenders here, but
we've said it.
Rubbish.
They have pressed in certain games really well. I thought he had brought that press in, but they don't.
Look how they pressed in the first half against Napoli.
Yes.
When we played them at home.
Yeah.
Napoli had no time on the ball.
Yeah.
Energy, pressing.
Yeah. But away from home, it seems different. They seem very casual away from home, as though they're waiting, sitting back, too comfortable, not really at it, doesn't it? there's a difference between the way this team plays at home and plays away. We've been searching for the answers now for weeks. But yesterday, what you had the two forwards pressing onto their two centre-halves, but they too easily played round the press into Ndidi and to Chowdhury, who I have to say, had too much space. And what they were doing then was they were exploiting us, because what would happen, Torreira, you are right, Torreira was the one guy looking to press on yesterday. But Xhaka, as you say, not great at pressing. But we weren't pressing as a team. These two players got too much space. They are playing it into pockets of space for Maddison and for Tielemans in particular. Maddison was out wide, causing us problems. Tielemans as well, getting into these pockets of space that was sort of like drawing our defenders out and causing us problems. And then we had the problem of Jamie Vardy, who loves to spin in behind Socrates and Mustafi, and we were struggling to pick up his run yesterday. And he was doing that quite a lot during the game. So they started with high intensity Leicester, looking to press us into mistakes. Arsenal, in complete contrast, were not at it all the game. And you have to question Mkhitaryan, who basically was like a passenger in that match. Iwobi, as you say, really poor. DT, quite rightly said, he had a great chance early on. Great chance. And when he was in that position...
He bottled it.
He bottled it. He bottled it. He just made sure he got it on target.
Yeah, right? which is what Iwobi does, I have to say. He does that a lot of times. It's just like, it's more about, let me get it on target, so that if I blast it over the bar, the fans might have a go at me. I actually get that impression.
I would rather he put his laces through it.
Put your laces through the ball, man. Yeah. What are you practicing all week?
Yeah. So,
do you want to play for Arsenal Football Club or not?
But we have to say, and we're talking now about the game, we will come on to this, we'll talk about how the game changed after the red card, but before the red card, look at the stats. They had 9 shots to our 4, 234 passes to our 57. First half, Arsenal only completed 77 of their 125 passes. That is absolutely shocking.
Yeah, for a passing team.
For a passing team. We don't pass anymore, do we? And
we didn't play the ball. One of the things I noticed, Graham, yesterday, right, is that we didn't play the ball out from the back.
No.
We normally always play the ball out from the back. We didn't. It's like Emery didn't trust Maitland-Niles, didn't trust Kolasinac with that. So we didn't play the ball out from the back at all. We just kept hitting it long. Yeah. And then it was just coming straight back at us.
You have to say, Robbie, it did turn on the sending off.
What's your views on that sending off?
Well, I thought Michael Oliver had an absolute shocker. Absolute shocker.
He's rubbish. Honestly, I don't rate him as a referee. He was terrible yesterday. He allowed Ndidi and Chowdhury to literally chop down our players, but he wasn't consistent. I don't mind if referees are consistent. So allow Chowdhury and Ndidi to go in hard, but then do the same on the other side with Torreira, but he didn't. No. Every time, I mean, the Maitland-Niles one, he didn't even touch Maddison. Maddison as well. He made the most of it. But to me, I just look on it and I think that the referee was so inconsistent throughout the game. That's not the reason we lost, by the way.
No.
But he was very inconsistent.
If we look at the two incidents that led to the 2 bookings, the first one really early on, 8 minutes. 8 minutes. He blocked.
Which a lot of referees...
It was his first foul in the game.
Yeah, a lot of referees, unless it's a real bad one, they'll say, right, listen, come here. I'm going to give you that one, but next time. But he just immediately...
Technically a foul, technically a yellow card, but you think he might have given him, as you say, a warning. But if it had been further up the pitch, I could understand it. But I thought it was yellow card, but first foul of the game early on, put Maitland-Niles in a really difficult position. But the second one, I have to say, James Maddison, who's already been banned this season for diving, right? This needs to be looked at retrospectively by the FA, because he's got a fellow professional sent off through dishonesty. And then he has the absolute balls to come on an interview post-match and literally say that Maitland-Niles took him out, which is what he said last night in the interview. I think that's shocking for a fellow professional. Now, Maitland-Niles, we can't appeal against that because it's 2 yellow cards. So he will miss the Brighton game. But I think Maddison needs to be dealt with, and I think he needs to get this out of his game. He's a very talented player, James Maddison. And I was very impressed with him. I've been impressed with him this season. But he needs to take a long, hard look at himself, right? I know we've got... All teams have got divers in it. We can't just sort of like say that,
we ain't.
We're not, in the past we've had players who have thrown themselves easy to the floor, and we probably have during the season. But to get a fellow professional sent off, and I think that is... And then to be totally dishonest about it, I think he needs to take a long, hard look at himself. Second one for me wasn't a yellow. And had he not gone, Emery's right, it did change the game.
Listen, whatever we want to say, and I was arguing with a lot of fans yesterday because they were like, I don't want to hear enough. It's just the team's... Listen, they're probably right, the team is not good enough, but there is no doubt that when you go down to 10 men, it changes. Very rarely do you see a team go down to 10 men and win the game. You're looking at a draw at best.
But
and it was still 0-0 at that stage. Let's remember that as well. It was still 0-0.
But let's put it one. We watched Watford the other week when they played us. They went down to 10 men and they defended really well. We cannot defend, can we?
But we can't defend with 11. So if we're down to 10, it's all over, isn't it?
But let's look at the 2 goals we conceded. The first 2 goals, absolutely shocking. Xhaka, your man.
My man?
Your man, Xhaka. Would you rather have El Neni in there?
Well, no, I'd rather have Xhaka in there.
No, I'm just saying, I just said that to wind you up. But look, Xhaka, he's allowed Tielemans to run off him. Literally run off him. And that is criminal for your defensive midfielder. Absolutely criminal. And Xhaka yesterday personified the team. Now, I love Xhaka for his control, his passing. But if you're not going to pick players up and you're the holding defensive midfielder, you might as well not be a holding defensive midfielder.
And his passing was poor yesterday.
His passing was poor. But I'm just saying that first goal, Tielemans ran off him too easily. Yep. But Maddison with the cross for the Tielemans header, running off Xhaka. The second goal. I know it's towards the end of the game, but it reminded me of the Aguero goal in the League Cup final, Robbie. Long, 92 yards he punted that. And you've got 2 centre-halves. And these were our best 2 centre-halves. We blame Mustafi. If Mustafi had been doing that, you would have been all over.
I thought Mustafi was one of our better players yesterday.
Well, I thought he was shocking the first half hour.
Yeah, but playing at right back, when he went to right back, he played a bit better than he does in the
and we got Robbie. We need to get rid of Mustafi.
Of course.
But I'm just saying that had he done that yesterday, what Socrates and Koscielny did, Koscielny came on when we went down to 10 men at half time and Mustafi went to right back, I think we would have been all over Mustafi. But the fact is to allow a 92-yard assist for a goalkeeper, punt downfield to go between your 2 centre-backs and not deal with it, and then react the way they did when it hit the bar, that was absolutely, it tells you everything's wrong at the core of this club defensively. Now, the one thing that I thought Emery would do was he would sort us out defensively, because the Wenger, I'm not going to blame Arsene Wenger, I'm not going to be that naive to blame Wenger, but a lot of Wenger's philosophy is still in this team, we have to accept that. But they just can't defend. And unless you learn how to defend away from home, unless you have a plan away from home, we're going to carry on getting beat, Robbie. And I think...
Is it the formation or is it the defenders are just not good enough?
Both. Defenders are not good enough. We bought poor defenders over the years. We need
Because, that ball over the top that went in there, would Maguire and Evans have conceded that?
Do you know what? Johnny Evans is looking quite good at the moment against Arsenal.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is...
No, in answer to the question,
Maguire and Evans. No. Look at. Let's have a look at when we talk about defences, right? And when we talk about, we know we're Arsenal, big club and everything like that, and we're like a huge club, but this is where I start to have a problem now with what I'm seeing at Arsenal. When I look at their back 4, Chilwell, Maguire, Evans, Pereira. Then I look at our back 4, Maitland-Niles, Mustafi, Socrates, Kolasinac. Which one's better?
Theirs.
How can that be? That they have a better...
I look at... No. Let's, you have to say, first of all, Bellerin...
It's a better back 4.
No, would if it was Bellerin, Socrates, Koscielny, Monreal, who would you say have the better back 4 then?
I'd say it's probably even.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because Monreal's not better than Chilwell.
Yeah. But you have to say also...
Maguire is better than the 2 that we got there. I think at the moment, Maguire, I'd love him at Arsenal. Evans is on par, I think, with what we've got there, And Pereira...
Looked good yesterday.
He's better than Maitland-Niles, isn't he?
But...
So, again, how can that be? How can that be? That Chowdhury looked way better than Xhaka.
I think Chowdhury and Ndidi bossed the midfield yesterday.
Ndidi looked excellent. Tielemans looked 10 times better than Mkhitaryan.
But he's a quality player, Tielemans.
Yeah.
And
so
they do well to keep
It's not a fluke, is it?
No.
It's not. They've got a better team.
Well, we've got defenders that can't defend, but it's the formation as well. And it's the way we play that exposes the defence. And then the defenders are always under pressure. and they can't cope with the pressure. At home, they're not asked to defend so much because we've got the ball. We have more of the ball, and teams sit back more. Away from home, the away, when you play away, the home crowd demand the team go forward, so they have more of the ball, put you under more pressure. You have to have defenders who can defend. The spine of the team is not strong enough at the moment. Leno yesterday, I have to say, had an outstanding game. Made some wonderful saves. Socrates, I have to say, everyone's saying he's our best defender, and I've said that myself. He's a quality defender, but last week, in this last 2 games he played against Wolves and against Leicester,
it's terrible.
He's looked awful. You almost like sense that you almost want to rip this team up, don't you? You want to rip it up and start it again. I mean, Freddie Lundberg's doing great things with the young teams. We've got young players out on loan. You almost like look back to George Graham's time when suddenly you had like your Viv Andersons, your Graham Rickses, your Charlie Nicholases, these prima donnas who weren't putting in the work right, and George Graham just went, right, I'm going to rip this up.
I personally think that needs to happen this summer. Yeah. I think, there's a lot of players in that team now. It's time, as Claude once famously said, it's time to go. They're not going to get no better, are they? They ain't going to improve. They're the problem now for years. Yeah. Right? And it's not getting better, even with a new manager. Right. He needs new personnel. He obviously likes to play. We saw him earlier on in the season. He likes this pressing game. He likes runners. There's not enough runners in that team.
There's not enough explosiveness, athleticism in the team. Liverpool got like a Salah. Chelsea got a Hazard. You need somebody who's explosive, who can go past people, and we haven't got that. But I think one question I'm going to ask you now, because you're a massive fan of Lacazette and Aubameyang up front in a 2. Now, I am as well, and I like him in a 2 at home. Does it work in a 2 away from home?
Away from home? Against certain teams, no. But then I just think it's because of what you've got behind them. Right, listen, yesterday's game, I thought Aubameyang and Lacazette were very poor. Lacazette was very poor when he's playing in a 1 at Wolves. He didn't get the ball hardly. If you don't give these guys any service, what are they going to do? Aubameyang, despite how poor we've been this season, let's not forget, I know a lot of people digging out Aubameyang, yeah? Let's not forget, he's still got a chance of getting the golden boot. He scores goals, right? You've got to get these guys the ball. And there's no point in hitting these long, what we were doing yesterday, hitting balls up in the air. You've got Harry Maguire about 9 foot tall behind him, right? And Johnny Evans, 2 big guys, right? And you're hitting balls up to Lacazette and get the ball into their feet. Like you said, you need runners. Draw people out. Then get it to these 2 guys. Then they can hurt people. But at the moment, we are not getting the service to Lacazette and Aubameyang, right? So they're ineffective. And if you cut these 2 off from the play, where else in this team is goals going to come from? It ain't coming from Iwobi. We saw that yesterday. He got the best chance of the game. He has no confidence in front of goal. He bottles it every time. He just try, like you said, he just looked to try and get it on target. Mkhitaryan's lost his shooting boots. Used to be a player that could score goals. Apart from that, take these 2 out. Who else in that team is going to score goals? Hence why he has to go with both of them. No one else is going to score anything.
Mkhitaryan should be someone who
should be, but he doesn't. Goals. Even when Ozil's in there, he doesn't score enough goals. Torreira's not a goal scorer. Xhaka's, unless it's like a long-range free kick or something like that, he's not. There's not enough goals in the team. No, and that's without Ramsey in there, who is selling, by the way.
Yeah, who's suddenly looking like the one we need to replace. Look, we worry about our defence, quite rightly so, and we can't defend away from home. We haven't got the right defenders, and we need to invest in new defenders. I understand that.
And midfield.
Invest in new
and wingers.
Look, look, away from home, Robbie, I'll just touch on that point. I don't think we can play 2 strikers.
No.
I don't think we can. I think it's been proved in these away games. As much as I love Aubameyang and Lacazette, I don't think we can play. And as I say, the ideal away, we need to have a plan away from home. For me, the Tottenham, I said it to you before, the way we played against Tottenham, a 4-2-3-1 with Ramsey, a 3rd running midfielder, 3 in midfield. You need to be solid in midfield. Defenders a unit with 2 in front and a 3rd man running midfielder, 2 hard-working wide wingers and a forward, a centre forward to hold the ball up, play on the counter-attack, and we can't play with these 2. Now, away from home, we averaged less than 11 shots at goal in the away game. We had 6 yesterday against their 24 shots. we're as much as we worry about the defence, we're not creating anything going forward either at the moment.
It's
It's
a waste of time having
at
those
least
two
under
teams.
Wenger. At least under Wenger, we had an identity, an attacking team. We went for it, and I'm not saying it was perfect under Wenger, but you knew that we were going to attack sides. Now, the funny thing is, we've gone from one manager, Wenger, we knew how he was going to play week in, week out, to Emery, who basically doesn't seem to. He changes it around.
Chops and changes all the time.
No,
is he doing that because of the personnel?
I think he's struggling. He doesn't know his best 11. And I think he's struggling with the players he's got to play the way he wants to play. And that's what I feel. But I think away from home, I think we've got to go back to learning how to defend. He needs to drill him, Robbie, on the training ground. Drill him. Literally drill him. All I see from the Arsenal videos is sort of like practicing shooting at the goalkeepers and all this El Neni 25-yarders, Mustafi chesting it down, bop, bop, bop. I want to see him show us a training session where he's drilling the defence. Drilling the defence, like what George Graham used to do when he had Dixon, Adams, Bold and Winterburn. They would drill. The other thing is we can't... Leicester yesterday nearly scored another, like what Palace got against us the other week, when it was just a long ball in, they push up looking for the offside, and they're not... There's no organisation, no leadership. They all push it, or three of them push out, one of them stays back and plays the guy on. So I think we need to go back to defending that first ball. And I think playing that high line for free kicks is so wrought with danger. So I just think defensively, looking at it, Robbie, defensively we're poor. We're not creating so many chances up top. I think we need to change the way we play away from home. And that's why we're struggling away from home. We can't defend. We're not creating anything because we've got two forwards, but we've got two players doing the same job, Robbie.
And finally, top four over? Because despite our rubbish we've been, lost 3 games in a row, we've still got a chance. That's the ridiculous thing. Is it done for you?
I just think Chelsea 2 points ahead. I just think Chelsea's top 4 now. And I honestly believe the Napoli game now is so crucial. It's everything. So
Valencia.
Pardon?
Valencia.
Sorry, Valencia. The Valencia
we actually
game.
beat Napoli.
Yeah. That was a good away performance, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I would... no, he's going to be caught again, isn't he? Duck between two stools. He's probably still going to be going for it in the Brighton game. But there's almost an argument now to play these young players. Willock, for example, give him a game in central midfield. Look at some of the youth for the last 2 league games and put all our eggs in the Europa League basket.
Okay. What do you guys think? Should we put all of our eggs in the Europa League basket? Do you agree with Graham about why this team is so poor away from home? Leave it in the comments below. Graham likes to jump in as well and answer some of those. And what can I say, man? Yet another horror show.